Hi everyone, this is Carolyn Speaks, State of a World on Sunday, October 9th, 2022. So what is it? Good, better, and different? All three. What's happening in the world these days? Nothing happening. Nothing good. Okay. Uh, okay. Now, uh, it's very interesting the way things happen in the world. Uh, Okay, now, I'm looking for something. Okay, now, immigrant workers face wage theft and unsafe conditions as they rebuild Florida. Crucial to rebuilding communities after natural disasters, they are increasingly subject to exploitation and even human trafficking, advocates say. That's great. Okay, that's how they built Florida after all their prior hurricanes, and they rebuilt Louisiana. Uh, so let's see. Hurricane Ian's wrath had barely subsided in Florida when advertisements for day laborers started popping up on phones across New York through online platforms like Telegram and WhatsApp. The Spanish language messages appeared to target recently arrived immigrants and asylum seekers who are desperate for work and had nowhere else to turn. That's great. Now, advocates said they are worried that migrants are becoming targets of fly-by-night businesses eager to exploit people for hard work and low wages. This looks and smells like human trafficking, said uh, Ariadna Phillips, a New York community organizer with South Bronx Mutual Aid. Okay. Now, uh, okay. They recruit them with these very flashy photographs saying you're going to make a bunch of money and we're going to give you the great apartment. This great apartment to live in, Phillips added, but when the workers arrive, it's a different story. Less than 2 weeks after Hurricane Ian slammed into Florida and devastated dozens of communities, Phillips said she's already heard from several laborers whose wages have been docked to pay for their room and board. They told her that was not part of their agreement with the company. Some of the people who were recruited had been in the United States for only a week, she said. I tell them to stay in New York uh, because that is where they're going to be the safest, Phillips said. We're a sanctuary city, and Florida is already trying to send people to Martha's Vineyard. Governor Ron DeSantis flew two plane loads of immigrants to the wealthy Massachusetts enclave last um, month as part of an effort to transport illegal uh, immigrants to sanctuary destinations, its communications director Karen Fensky said in a statement at the time. On Tuesday, DeSantis said at a news conference that 3 or 4 people arrested last week for ransacking communities following Hurricane Ian were illegal immigrants who should be immediately deported. They should not be here at all, he said. His office did not return a request for comment. On Friday, DeSantis encouraged Florida debris companies to hire locally. Many Floridians in southwest Florida have had their businesses and livelihoods impacted by the storm and are looking for work. The private sector can help them get back on their feet by hiring locally for the length of recovery, which will support the local economy for at least the next 6 months, he said in a statement. Experts say immigrants are much more likely to be victims of labor exploitation or suffer disproportionate economic devastation following a natural disaster. Not only are migrants the first to be affected by these extreme weather events, but they tend to be the first to try to rebuild, said Ariel Ruiz Soto, policy analyst with the Migration Policy Institute. Okay. Immigrant workers from Mexico, Honduras, and Guatemala historically comprise the backbone of the recovery workforce that flocks to regions hit by natural disasters, he added. They helped to rebuild New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina 2005 and Houston to Hurricane Harvey 2017. Uh, In a survey of 261 construction day laborers following Harvey, 72% were immigrants who had entered the country illegally, nearly half from Mexico, most of the remainder from Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador, according to 2018 study co-written by Soto. Average hourly wages for day laborers range from $12 to $14 an hour, and 26% of respondents reported wage theft in the months following Harvey. Many also described not receiving information about job hazards or protective gear. That's great. And these workers are more likely to be working under the table or for companies who are more likely to overlook rules, Soto said, exposing them to potentially dangerous work conditions. In New York, work advertisements targeting immigrants offered $15 hourly rates per diems, transportation to and from job sites, overtime, and even accommodations, said Phillips of South Bronx Mutual. One posting reviewed by NBC News included photos of furnished apartments or hotel rooms complete with full kitchens for cooking meals. Another advertisement, written in Spanish and posted by a Florida construction company, asked interested workers to contact it through WhatsApp or Telegram and provide their name, age, country of origin, and ability to travel. A third, by the same company, said it was looking for 300 workers in Fort Myers, Tampa, St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Cape Coral, and Port Charlotte. Phillips said she has spoken with about a dozen immigrants who received the advertisements, and several reached out to her today through New York's mutual aid community. They had been roaming the streets of Queens for hours, soaked by heavy rain and carrying all their belongings, in search of buses that were reportedly taking laborers to Florida for work opportunities in building trades. Remembering horror stories of immigrants not being paid for work or being deported following previous natural disasters, Phillips rushed to Queens. She helped dissuade handfuls of immigrants from traveling to Florida and encouraged them to instead seek help from local shelters and organizations. Okay, several attempts to reach the company promoting work opportunities were unsuccessful. Promises often not kept, these workers said. Saget Sony, Executive Director of Resilience Workforce, a New Orleans group that advocates for and monitors migrant workers following natural disasters. I am concerned they are being recruited through fraud. On the days following Ian, Resilience Workforce deployed staff members to Florida to observe work conditions on the ground. They were in contact with hundreds of laborers who had made their own way to places like Fort Myers, which bore the brunt of Ian's lashing, and waited outside Walmart and Home Depot in search of work. Sasha Feynman, Communications Director of Resilience Force, said he personally witnessed workers putting themselves in danger, including roofers who were not wearing safety gear and several workers sleeping inside a truck in a parking lot. It's real, he said, of worker exploitation. It exists. It operates in the shadows. Very sad. They work in a very wealthy area of the country, and they're being exploited, and they should be helped. And the people whose houses are being repaired by exploited labor, they should know that, and they should not allow that. And the state of Florida doesn't care. Florida wants to get rid of them, and now it's going to bring them back to work there on destroyed homes. DeSantis is a real yucky person. He's a real hypocrite. Okay, I hope he'll be defeated in the election. Okay, thank you for tuning in this evening of Sunday, October 9th, 2022, for another meeting of Carolyn Speaks State of Life. Carolyn Speaks State of the World. Wear a mask, practice social distancing when the vaccine is available. If you're safe to take it, I would take it. Had mine, Johnson & Johnson, one shot. Had 2 sore arms. I was tired, and I'm looking for a booster. I do not do well with vaccines. Okay. Close the door like the lights. We're staying home tonight, far away from the bustle and the bright city lights. Let them all fade away, just leave us alone, and we'll live in a world of our own. We'll build a world of our own. that no one else can share. Oh, our troubles will leave far behind us there, and I know we will find just peace of mind when we live in a world of our own. Okay, that was World of Our Own, written by Tom Springfield of the Springfield Folk Group, which included Sister Dusty Springfield, who would like to become an international singing star. It's recorded by Dusty and it's also recorded by the Seekers. Okay, thank you for tuning in this evening of Sunday, October 9, 2022, for another Carolyn Speaks State of the World. Hope we join us again tomorrow. Take care of yourself and others. Remember, kindness goes a long way. Kindness goes a very long way. Thank you. Good night. Stay safe.